Let's delve into this more now with our political reporter, Trudy McIntosh. Trudy, the key for the Australian government from here, who are these groups that are not getting vaccinated, but what are the reasons as well, and how can they be addressed?
Tom, there's a really interesting breakdown today. You really get an idea of exactly why people are somewhat concerned to go out and get their COVID vaccination. A lot of the focus early on, before we'd actually seen the rollout begin, was talk about anti-vaxxers. This poll shows that really that isn't going to be the major problem that the government needs to overcome. If we have a look at the figures, the biggest reason that people cite that they're cautious about going to get the vaccine, 50% of people say that they're nervous about side effects for their age groups. 38% of people say that they don't yet know enough about the vaccine to go out and get it. If you interestingly look down through the other results that people say, 21% of people say with no international travel happening at the moment, there's no rush. 14% of people say currently, given the supply issues that we're seeing with the vaccinations, that they believe they are willing to wait for their jab, and just 4% of people say that they're actually opposed to all vaccinations. It's critical when you look at these reasons, then they can be overcome in some circumstances. When people say they don't have enough information or that they're concerned about the side effects, that's not ruling it out altogether. So for the government, they need to consider strategies to more public information, trying to reassure people that this is safe to go out and get the jab. The Prime Minister this morning, though, keen to focus on the positives within this polling.
70% of Australians do want to get vaccinated, and I'm looking forward to them taking up that opportunity. I want to commend the Victorian government for the great job they're doing here on the rollout of the vaccine. They've got another major centre opening up today. I thank them for that. So those 70% of Australians, when your opportunity, and particularly if you're over 50, then I'd encourage you to do that.
Interesting figures, aren't they? I guess that the low, don't believe in vaccinations at 4% would be the encouraging part there, Trudy. Meanwhile, though, on the announcement front today, the government to fund a $600 million gas-fired plant in the Hunter Valley.
This is making good on a pledge that the Prime Minister made last year that if the market didn't go out and try and fill the shortfall of the looming closure of the Liddell plant in 2023, that the government was willing to step in. Now, that's exactly what we're seeing today from the Energy Minister, Angus Taylor, this $600 million taxpayer commitment to help build this new gas-fired plant in the Hunter Valley. But in that interim period, we have actually seen a commitment from Energy Australia. They're putting money into this gas-fired plant in the Illawarra. Also hearing from the energy market operator that they believe that Energy Australia project is enough to fill the shortfall of Liddell, that the government didn't necessarily need to step in here. But the Prime Minister dismissing that today, talking about the self-interest of these big energy companies. Of course they'd say that. He believes by putting this additional project into the market, it's going to help drive down prices.
I've heard the criticisms of those who don't mind electricity prices going up. I don't agree with them. I don't want electricity prices going up. Those in the energy industry don't mind it when energy prices go up because their profits go up. I'm for energy prices going down so Australian households can afford costs of living. So I'm not here to spruik for the energy industry. I'm here to spruik for Australian households.
Labor are already split on whether this is the right approach. The Shadow Energy Minister, Chris Bowen, has said this morning that this is a cynical attempt to try and reignite the fight over gas and reignite the climate wars. Is that the view of Labor MP Joel Fitzgibbon? He certainly believes it should be given the tick of approval.
And is that a good idea?
Yes, it is, Laura, unequivocally. Someone said to me yesterday, why is the government investing? Where is the market failure? There is market failure. Liddell is decommissioning in 2023. It's a 2,000 megawatt power generator, so we have an enormous gap.
Now, it's worth remembering there is a political dimension to all of this. With an election on the horizon, this project is being built in the seat of Paterson, which is held by Labor, certainly an area that the coalition would be keen to pick off seats from Labor. Joel Fitzgibbon's support for this project, not surprising given it's on his doorstep in that next door seat of Hunter, which the government would also be very keen to take off his hands.
A fair call, I think. Trudy, thanks.